So, I heard you're looking for a go-to source for entertainment.
Wait for it.
Gaming?
Wait for it.
Anime?
Plus Ultra!
Mr. Eric Almighty and Phil the Filipino? Yeah, they've got you covered. And all you gotta do is... wait for it. This is the Wait For It podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Wait For It podcast. I am your co-host, Phil Smith, aka Phil the Filipino. And joining me, as always, is your other co-host, Mr. Eric Almighty. And Eric, as we sat down and discussed, the changes that were coming to the podcast here over the last few months of the year, we knew that Creator Spotlight was a series that we simply could not let go. We couldn't do it in any other format. And we are so happy and so excited to have our guest on today, a guest that we met at Bold Matsuri this year, who we had a lot of fun with. So really excited to bring everybody this conversation here this month.
Yeah, really exciting to be able to continue this series. And really what inspired this series was to get like-minded people, very talented individuals who are either creating content, creating cosplay, creating as far as voice acting for anime. Shout out to Matthew Elkins, who was our inaugural guest on this series. And then even, creating clothing wear. Our last guest was Urban Weirdo himself, Jay, who was really, really fun to have on. So it's been really cool to have so many different people, so many different backgrounds, so many different experiences on the podcast. And that's not going to change here. We have Sophie, aka Soupninjaha, who is on with us. Sophie, how are you doing tonight? And welcome on.
Hi, thank you so much, guys. I'm doing great. It's been great so far. Moved to Orlando recently. I've been doing a lot of really cool projects. I have now to split my time between those really cool professional projects that I do and then cosplay stuff, and they're both equally fun. So I'm just looking forward to keep doing that, and I feel really grateful to be able to, be doing it.
Yeah, I love it. And, Sophie, you are getting ready, I believe, as we are for Ocala Comic-Con. Is that right?
Yes, I am. If the camera was just a little bit further to the door, you'd see I have a big dry erase board that says Ocala Comic-Con prep. So definitely heavy on that. I had to order a bunch more stuff today. Some stuff for one of my cosplays. I'm working on Bayonetta 2, her outfit, and I have some stuff got delayed that I was ordering. So I had to kind of make something new from what I have, and then stuff I can get in time to complete a new outfit. So, going with the flow. But yeah, it's I'm really excited. I'm working on theming my booth this time a little bit more. I know that Phil and I were talking a little bit about it, but the One Piece live action just came out last week, and it totally blew my expectations away. It was super phenomenal. I love it. I'm a big One Piece fan, so I'm actually going to work on a One Piece pirate-themed booth this time. I'm excited for that.
Oh, God. Eric literally just lit up. So you guys can talk about this. I'll just, sit back. I'll turn my PlayStation on, and you guys can finish up this conversation.
We can just talk One Piece. This is great. No.
Yeah.
No, I won't do that to Phil. Phil is an avid denier of ever getting into One Piece.
Myself, I don't have time. I don't have time.
Listen, I barely have time, but it's a series that I've been getting into more and more. I still have so much to go. I'm relatively new to the series, but I do want to check out the live action. I'm super excited about that, and I'm super excited to hear about your table at Ocala Comic-Con and the theme there. What else are you doing to kind of prep to get ready for the convention? Because I know that's always such a different experience for everyone. And, we had the pleasure of interviewing you and getting to talk to you, or Phil did actually. This is my first time meeting you.
Yeah.
Phil got to interview you at Bold Matsuri. So what is it like kind of getting ready for those conventions? You already talked about stuff not going the way you expected. We can relate. What else is it like getting ready?
Oh man, yeah, there's definitely a lot going into it. And my first time guesting, even though it went really well, and it's mostly because of the organization that I work with, and the cons I go to are phenomenal, and they treat us really well. And they make the process really smooth. They always make us these beautiful banners, so I never even had to worry about making like a cosplay banner and things like that. But beyond that, it you learn kind of what you need, not only to, so it's like personal needs, so like what you need to get through the day, and then also what do you need to bring in order to show like the best version of yourself when you're tabling at a con. And I'm working on that now, because I always try to do something fun, something appealing for people to come talk to me. And I always try to like I love meeting people and talking with with you guys and with other like anyone from professional cosplayers to just like a person who just started cosplaying that day. It's really fun to meet and interact with different people. So my goal whenever I table is to put forward the best version of myself and the best, like, most comforting and most like welcoming display I can do. So I have a background in themed entertainment, which I'm sure we'll talk about, but I love doing, if I can theme something, I can do it. I love doing themed parties. I would love to theme my booth, and I've been thinking about doing it for some time. But my main goal moving forward as I table for cons is actually to theme the table to the character or one of the characters I'm cosplaying that weekend. So at Ocala Comic-Con, I haven't decided which day, but one of the days I'm going to do Nami from Arlong Park. In her outfit with her, her arm tied up and all that. So super excited for that. And going for, to kind of talk about what it takes to prep is like, you kind of have to predict problems ahead of time in order to plan for it. So you have to be like, it goes beyond like every time I go to a con, you'll see a giant, I usually take a wagon with me and it's full of hot glue guns, pins, just for cosplay prep in case anything happens. But it's also snacks, and it's also 40 extra Sharpies in case my Sharpies don't work or they dry out, or extra business cards and all kinds of stuff. So and something else I want to mention, not to jump around too much, but it's something about the table is like, because I do my creative work, which is more like themed entertainment based, so it's more like experiences and stuff like that. I started incorporating that into my cosplay table. So I have kind of like, what's the joke that's like business in the front, party in the back, or whatever, party in the front, business, whatever. It's like that kind of thing. So I started splitting the table like that. So now I'm running into something really interesting where it's like, how can I portray those two sides really effectively and show that like I'm incorporating them together, not that they should be competing. So I hope that answers your question. There's a lot that goes into prepping for stuff like this.
That was great. Yeah, no, when it comes to prep, get a mullet. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. That's
That works. That works out. Have you done Ocala, either of the cons, either Ocala Comic-Con or Brick City? I think would this be your first one?
I think, if I remember correctly, Brick City was the first con that I actually guested at.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, Ocala is always a lot of fun. It is certainly a what we have learned, Eric. It's a little bit of a different crowd than the one that we get up in Jacksonville, and I think like you have to adjust to that accordingly. And once you figure that out, it's just as it's just a normal weekend. But I think just having to find that finding that right balance depending on the event you're at, I think is super important. But really looking forward to seeing you again down there. What is something, this is something we talked about when we met at Bold Matsuri, but for the audience here listening today that didn't get a chance to hear that interview that we did with you, what is something that you what is a piece of advice that you would give to let's do it this way. What is a piece of advice that you would give yourself as you were just starting out cosplaying that now? Let's do it that way.
Oh, man, I mean, I think I'm sure that I said something similar maybe when we first talked, but I really when you first start cosplaying, I feel like there's this big push to look just like the character, and to look at that reference picture and do that exactly. And a lot of the times, it's really hard to do that, whether it's color matching or some crazy wig work, or even like sometimes like we're talking about One Piece, like even like body image. It's like you can't. I know no one can look like Nami, but I can sure try. But as long as you're comfortable and you have fun, that's really what it's about. So instead of thinking about it like matching the character exactly, it's more about embodying like that character, and as long as you're comfortable and having fun, you're gonna look great because you're happy and you're comfortable and you're enjoying the media, which is really what cosplay has always been about for me, is just like really putting yourself into that media, and always cosplay from things that you like. It'll just be more fun that way.
Yeah, that's definitely a great piece of advice for anybody, at really at any level. Honestly, I've heard very similar answers from other cosplayers, especially people who just have not done it yet. They're just so hesitant because, well, I want to get the look exactly right.
Right.
What are people going to say? Just do it for yourself and have fun. And as Eric and I consistently every year, we're like, we're gonna do it this year. We're
Yeah.
gonna cosplay, and we just never do it. So that's a piece of advice, Eric, I think we need to take for ourselves.
Yeah, no, it does. We do. But I mean, I think you talked about it a little bit, Sophie, here about the preparation it takes. And like, there's a lot that goes behind it. We ourselves are just starting to figure out what we're going to be doing at the event, how we're going to be supporting. And each time we go, we're absolutely overwhelmed by the love people show us. But it's also very overwhelming, just the amount of people, the environment itself. It's kind of the theme of the conventions. So, Sophie, I want to ask you, with Ocala Comic-Con coming up, are there any guests? Obviously, I know you're definitely going to be checking out Lucy Christian, who's the voice actor for Nami. Is there anyone else that you're really excited to see? Because, I mean, that's one of the great things about going to a convention is all the guests.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Especially I love meeting voice actors, and it's funny because I love guesting, but sometimes you get so busy that you miss, like, you don't get to go into the alley. But I remember when I was at Brick City, Ray Chase was there, and Ray Chase does a whole bunch of amazing characters. To name two that are that I love is Tengen from Demon Slayer, and then Bucciarati from JoJo. And it was so funny because I was like, I have to make time to go meet him, and it's so much fun, and I loved that, and same thing with Lucy. It was funny because I'm like, what am I going to cosplay? And I landed on Nami, especially after watching live action. I'm like, oh my god, Lucy's going to be there! Like, I get to meet her. But yeah, I definitely. I don't watch a lot of anime, but I know that they have so many great voice actors there. Definitely going to meet Lucy, and if I can, I'm going to look and see who else they have guesting. And then I also love going to like the artist alley. That's usually my favorite part of the con, is actually going through the alley and then seeing the other amazing cosplayers that I'm guesting with.
Yeah, and I know for us, it's also hard going there. So like, definitely hope you get to find the time to meet them. And sometimes it's even just a matter of kind of passing them in the back. That's been some of the coolest experiences that we've had, which I definitely know from firsthand experiences how sometimes it happens. Mm-hmm. Phil, are there any guests that you are excited for? I know we're going to be doing a Thursday thought, so maybe not your go-to guest, but anyone specifically that you're kind of targeting?
Yeah, certainly the voice actor for the main character in Jedi Survivor, whose name is escaping me right now. Eric,
Cameron Monaghan.
Yeah, Cameron Monaghan, who's been in so much. Keith David, I definitely want to meet, and like you said, Eric, it's just having those chance encounters with them in the back, or after hosting a panel with them, and then getting to kind of like see them in kind of a more relaxed state, because it's very stressful out there on the floor. Like, they're meeting people constantly. Like, I remember talking to some voice actors, and they're just exhausted at the end of the weekend. You know what I mean? And for them to still take the time though to meet every single person that they possibly can is really, really great. It's always just a lot of fun. I mean, the lineup continues to get like stacked more and more every time we go to Ocala or it's up here in Jacksonville. So super excited to meet them. And my daughter also wants to get some autographs, so gonna be spending money. That's the one thing. It's great. Also, like Sophie, you mentioned Artist Alley, because that's where we've met now so many close friends, right? Eric, like people we hang out with, obviously talking about Ivan Patch, like and other people like Kawhi Satori, getting to see them, and it's like having a mini like high school reunion every 6 months is what it feels like. Like you get to see these friends and you've bonded over these over these convention stories that you all have, and you just have a really great time. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I think that's probably the best part, is just meeting up with all the people you meet at all the different conventions.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, I always say that it's like you said, like a reunion. I always say it's like people at cons are like your extended cousins. You just see them like seasonally every once in a while, because like it's the same people. Like, especially here in Florida, it's like you see everybody again and again. It's always so nice. It's like a reunion every time. Like you said, it's great.
Yeah, Chris is our convention dad.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's true.
I was definitely going to say that we definitely kind of have that, that really reliable group of people that organize these events, and they bring back people that they like and that contribute. And, Sophie, are there any other cosplayers that you're excited that you haven't gotten to spend some time with recently? I know for cosplayers, that's one of the good things about cons, is it kind of brings you guys back together. So is there anybody that you usually lean on at these conventions, you kind of look to when it's slow, or you just run into and you reminisce? Who's that person for you from the cosplay side of things?
Oh, my brain is running. There's so many people. I feel so grateful to have so many amazing cosplay friends, and I'm like, oh boy, there's like a whole list of them. Definitely someone who has been a huge guide and mentor and is always like a sunshine is Kendall B. She's been great. Also, Erica, who's caught red-headed. They're really good friends, and they've been very kind to me through, like, Kendall taught me a lot about guesting and everything, and she's always helped me, and we always, we get dinner and we hang out after, and she's like, oh, like if you need any help, and they've been super helpful. They, I talked to them about where to get prints done and all that stuff, so they really took me under their wing. And a whole bunch, Ember Tay, Vina, I'm like her tag, Maddie, Vina Cause, I think her tag is, and the whole group really from Bold Matsuri, that entire line of cosplayers are just, they're so talented, but they're also just such genuine people. Every time we go, it's like, I feel like I'm just happy to go and see them and like hang out with them when I can, because they're just great people.
Yeah, it's always nice seeing Kendall B and Caught Red-Headed, because Eric is like, we see them, we're like, okay, we know exactly how this cosplay contest is going to run. Yeah. It is going to run smoothly, and we're just going to run everything by them, and we will be good to go. So it's always great getting to partner up with them. And like you said, everybody just on, Cosplay Alley that we got to interact with and interview was so great. And, for as far as people that we've seen before and then meeting new friends like yourself, always really, really fun. And I always just appreciate how approachable everybody always is on those rows too, because you're going to get, that's the row people are going to go to as far as either the first time cosplayers or the ones that want to do it. Like, they're going to come to y'all, you know what I mean? Like they're going to see your booth and they're going to have questions, and everyone is always so sweet and so approachable, which is always a really, really great thing. Is there a cosplay that is, you talked about like your, you have your marker board sitting over there. Is there a cosplay that's like circled that you haven't gotten to do yet that is in your cosplay bucket list that you would like to do someday?
Oh man, it's like I have like my real answer, that I have like weird answers of like where
Please
it's like
give us both.
The craziest. Okay, so I've been wanting to do, I love Bayonetta, and I've done her first outfit. I'm dying to do her second one, and I'm working on her guns and all that. So that's like my dream one that I'm working towards now. For a long time, I don't know why, it's been stuck with me. I have been wanting to do, people are like want to do like full armor stuff. I've wanted to do Zurg from Toy Story for like years, to the point where I tried to 3D print his helmet, which is like really, it's like huge, right? And it's like round, that it broke the printer, because the force of it going like in circles for like 3 days unleveled it and unscrewed the bottom pieces. So that's in the bucket list. I don't know why. I just remember that when you said that, I was like, I'm going to go with my instinctual answer, because that's what it's been sitting there. And it definitely has been on the back burner, but I remember I was like, man, that would be so cool. And it's so random, but I'm a sucker for like really, really neat design, especially when it's like space stuff. So I'm like, I don't know. I got stuck on that one.
I could have, Eric, I guarantee you she could have given us plenty of guesses, and Zurg would not have come up.
We would have never. We would have never. Maybe if we repositioned our questioning and we found out like her favorite movie was Toy Story, maybe. But
Right.
even with that hint, I still think it would have never been possible.
No.
I have to agree.
That's great though. But what are some other, outside of cosplay, as we all take part of this this nerdy community, there's so many different outlets. What are some of your favorites outside of, you said you watch, a few different anime. Obviously you're a gamer, you love Bayonetta. What are some of your other, nerdy outlets, whether it be gaming, comics, film, whatever that is? What are some of your other, nerdy hobbies?
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoy. I've seen a lot of like I just haven't invested a lot in like different animes, but I'm very familiar with like a smattering of anime. I think there's only like a handful. One Piece is huge for me because it was the first anime one of the first I got into, and it's just like, what else do you need, right? No, I'm just kidding. But like I'm really much I've been more probably longer in my life into gaming, and I'm a huge Nintendo fan. I absolutely love. I've had every DS that there has been, and the Wii was like, it's everything to me. I love all the Wii games. I'm a huge Mario fan. I love Super Mario Galaxy. I love the Legend of Zelda series, Ocarina of Time, especially. All that kind of stuff. And then I'm trying to think what other. I mean, I play a lot of games with my friends. One of my friends dragged me into Fortnite, which has been very fun. With no build and all that. I used to play Overwatch. That's what I was trying to remember. I'm like, I used to play games so much. I used to play so much Overwatch, and I cosplayed a lot from Overwatch as well. I did Diva, Widow, Mercy, and probably someone else I'm forgetting. But yeah, I love playing online games with friends. So that when that was big, we played a lot. And then outside of that, I'm really into theme parks. Being in Orlando and stuff, and that's I'm gonna kind of bring into what I was talking about earlier, which was like my background in themed entertainment, which is my degree is in entertainment design. So even though it revolves around retail and like museums and escape rooms and stuff like that, like all kinds of guest experiences, of course, being in Orlando, a big chunk of that is in theme parks. So I'm a huge theme park nerd, especially on Disney. I love Universal too, but I grew up with Disney, so I know you can ask me almost anything about Disney theme parks and I can tell you. So that's probably my biggest nerdiest like bunch of information comes from that. So yeah,
that's great. We are going to. Well, we went to Disney earlier in the year in April or May. Eric, I believe it was one of those 2 months. We're going again, most likely in November for my daughter's birthday. I had gone like a good decade without going to Disney. I really love Disney. I love the parks, but I get exhausted over the course of the weekend. And if you told me that I was going to Disney twice in 1 year, I'd been like, I don't believe you whatsoever. But I am excited to go back. So what is what is the correct order of going to all 4 parks in a weekend? What is your correct order? What's the answer?
That's a good question. And you're so right about being exhausted all the time. I have an annual pass and I haven't been in about a month because it's too hot to go.
Yeah, I'm hoping November will be much, much cooler. So
it definitely should be. And I also love the decorations that they put up around like fall and Christmas time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh man. So I don't know, because I would say, okay, I'm just gonna go with my gut instinct here. I would say you could start at Hollywood Studios, because that one you can kind of go through pretty quick. Not like there's a lot to do, but I feel like it's the least walking, and it's probably the least hot of all the parks. And then maybe Magic after that, because Magic is like second to that. It's pretty big, but a little bit more shade than like Animal Kingdom or Epcot. And then you can go through there, and there's tons of fun stuff to do, but you don't really get exhausted. I think.
Yeah, she froze.
Then I would say Animal Kingdom. Oh,
there we go.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, you're back now.
Did we lose anything?
You literally right when you were like Magic Kingdom, and then you went into the next set of parks. You're good. You're good. So literally you left off on Hollywood Studios and then Magic Kingdom because of the shade.
Yeah.
So where else? Because this is great. We're taking notes.
Yeah.
And this is not definitely the order that we did.
No, it's not.
So, do you mean like if you're park hopping in a day or like on a vacation?
We did 2 days back to back, so we were doing Saturday and Sunday. So we split them up 2 and 2.
Yeah, I think I would still stick with the same kind of order. Hollywood Studios, Magic, especially Magic at night because they have a really good night show. And then I would say maybe then Animal Kingdom in the morning the next day and then end it with Epcot. I always end it with Epcot because that's where they serve the most alcohol.
yeah, it's a good time. We started off at Epcot. We did Epcot and Magic Kingdom on the same day, day one. And Magic Kingdom we got cut short for a couple of us because it started raining really bad. There was like lightning. Some people stuck around, I know, for the show, but I didn't get to see it. Me and a couple other people. And then day two, we did Hollywood Studios in the morning, and then we ended at Animal Kingdom. Is how we did it. So we figured what we would do for day one is go to Epcot, and I don't do rides, so everyone else was going on a ride, and then our other friend, her and I just like ate and drank around Epcot, which was fantastic. So that was our thought process: as we get it all out of the way in the morning, and then go to Magic Kingdom, see the fireworks show, and then day two, Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. I agree. Hollywood Studios, Eric, was out of all 4 parks was the best weather out of the whole weekend. It was nice and cool. There was a breeze. It was like there was a wind tunnel that was going through Hollywood Studios. It felt amazing.
It rained for us. It was supposed to rain all weekend, and it rained just that like 1 hour at Magic Kingdom. On the Saturday. I love that order though. I think that is super smart. Definitely sounds like it's coming from a pro because like we had no clue.
Well, see, I can't go to Epcot on the way out because I got to drive back to Jacksonville.
Okay, that's that's true.
That's gonna be tough, but yeah, no, definitely, and I definitely agree with Hollywood Studios. Like it was a great time, but it does go by quick. And I think Magic, because it's like so catered to kids, I also felt that that's somewhat similar for different reasons. But like Hollywood Studios is definitely a must. I got to ride Rise of the Resistance, which is my favorite ride out of all the parks. I love that experience. And then Phil just got to get exhausted, but he would watch us like groggy coming off the Guardians ride and like all of these things.
I'm still tired. Just a different kind of tired.
Different kind of tired.
It was a. I've had 3 of these frosty margaritas. Kind of tired. It's a different kind. It's a totally different type of exhaustion. I want to go back to what you were talking about as far as gaming. We got into Overwatch for about a month and a half, maybe, right, Eric? And we were having a blast with it until we just could not win any more matches, no matter what, especially specifically with Overwatch 2, because we didn't play Overwatch 1. So we went into it when Overwatch 2 became free to play. And after about a month and a half, even with a full squad, like everybody on mic, and we just could not do it. Which was a bummer because it's a lot of fun. And it's funny that you mentioned Fortnite because we have been playing Fortnite since 2017, I believe, Eric, when it came out. And it's
every
crazy.
Season, baby.
It literally just continues to evolve, and it's fun that you said that because Zero Build brought in so many new people, and I think, Eric, people are seeing the reason why we keep coming back to it is because it's easy to jump into. It's fun to play with your friends. The creative mode is a blast. We were just doing that the other night, so if you have more than 4 people, you can do that. So I think it's really cool that Zero Build has brought in new players, and because Fortnite at its core, and I think a lot of people think it's for kids, and I think because it has that aesthetic. But at its core, it's just a really fun game, and it's easy to jump into, and it's easy to learn as long as you don't have to build.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely I have to agree with you. I knew that I had known about I had known about Fortnite. I had done a couple events, and when I used to live in Miami, and I did a couple events. Even for Fortnite, where I dressed up and everything for that. And I was like, it looks cute, but the graphics and everything. But I never didn't like it because of that. I actually thought it was very visual. It was really visually appealing, which is why I actually got into Overwatch as well, because I really like the character designs and the lore and the story of the characters were interesting. I like that they were international. There was a lot of really cool stuff going for it. But yeah, Fortnite, my friend, my longtime friend, she was like, "Oh, you gotta play it because it's like really fun." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll try it." And without build, I remember trying it one time years ago with build, and I was like, "What is going on?" And then I tried it with no build, and it's really fun. And like you said, it's quick matches, easy to pick up. It doesn't never feels too complicated or anything like that. So it's really nice. And I'm sure, like, we're all busy, we work a lot, so it's like I can't, sometimes it's hard to pick up like a story game, like Breath of the Wild is taking me, I'm still playing Breath of the Wild because I wanted to get Tears of the Kingdom so bad, but I'm like, I have to finish Breath of the Wild. And I was like just trying to take my time, but you work all day, you get home, you play for like an hour, then you fall asleep. But Fortnite, you can play like a couple matches before you get tired, so it's pretty great.
Yeah, it's a really I think underrated game loop. Like, people who haven't given it a chance, again, I think are turned off a little bit by the aesthetic. But like I said, it's a lot of fun. So who knew, Eric, we were going to talk about Disney parks and Fortnite on this episode? It's turning out this is fantastic.
Yeah, no. So if you ever need a third and a fourth, just invite
Let
us.
us know.
We'll
get some
we'll
crowns.
be messaging you in November for Disney tips. It's great.
Absolutely.
So before we go ahead and transition to just kind of a fun little ending to the episode, we like to play a few games on this series. Keep it light. Sophie, you mentioned your theme background. I'm curious, what do you bring the most out of that when it comes to your cosplays? You obviously have a really creative mindset. Is there anything specifically that has given you the one up? It's not a competition, but the one up from some of your peers that you've been able to give advice to people that don't necessarily have the same background. So what have you taken from that and brought it into your day to day?
Oh man, that's a fantastic question. I think a big part of it, the first thing that comes to mind is adaptability. And that means like working with what you got, because a lot of times working in themed entertainment, you are given either budget or space restrictions or material restrictions or things that make you think outside of the box. And sometimes when you're given those restrictions, you actually are more creative than just being able to sandbox. And when I started cosplaying, I would make half of my props from cardboard and craft foam. Because I didn't have, I started in high school, so it's not like I had a big budget to get Warbler or even a 3D printer like I do now. And I think a lot of that just comes from, what can I use, from literally like a toilet paper roll to like, an old cork board or whatever it may be, using those tools and that mindset to be like, oh, I can really make something out of nothing. I can really be creative about this. And then beyond that is just like, part of the reason why I love themed entertainment is because it gives you a unique ability to bring people into an experience. And with cosplay, I feel like it's a similar thing, except it's individual. So when you cosplay, you really feel like you're connecting with that, IP, that, that series, the game or whatever it may be. And themed entertainment has a similar connection, but there's like something there that's really, it's like the magic of like putting yourself into something and really enveloping in that. So I think that having that mindset has been very helpful, but also being able to adapt and be really creative with whatever you can make of it.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And answers like that are exactly, why we were interested in holding these type of episodes, getting to meet people and getting to talk about some of those creative juices that flow for all of us. It's all so different for everyone, and it's so nice to be able to hear just such a unique perspective. Sophie, this has been really awesome. We're going to transition into a couple of fun things here. Now, I know you mentioned that you weren't the biggest anime watcher, but I know you know some pretty big franchises. So we're going to play this game. I've got a game, and Phil is going to also host one. This one, we are in our annual, what can we take from your friendly neighborhood gamers, right, Phil? We're taking a game called Synonym Roll. Very clever name.
Yeah, we just steal from other podcasts. So
that's what we do. If it's fun, we got to do it. But this game, we are going to use synonyms or another word to describe these hit anime shows. Now, the anime shows that I picked are fairly popular. Some of them are really big. I didn't go obscure here. You've probably seen someone cosplay from one of these shows. It's that popular. The example I'm going to give you to prepare you is Only Hit Dude. Do either of you guys know what anime that could be?
One Punch
Man.
Yeah.
There we go. One Punch Man.
Cool.
So I want you guys to tag team this because Phil is also not the biggest anime watcher, but he's getting there.
Listen, I'm coming into my own. I'm coming
minus
into my
One
own.
Piece.
Okay.
He's getting there. But I'm gonna go through 10 different anime, and I feel like 90 seconds is fair in case you get stumped on one or two. So 90 seconds seems like a pretty good number. We're gonna go ahead and go through them, and I'd like to see if together you guys can knock these out. So are you ready?
Yes, we got this.
Now I am. Now that I got that sneeze out of the way.
All right. So our time will start once I give you the first one. So the first one is going to be Devil Executioner. Devil Executioner.
Demon Slayer? Yeah.
There we go. Mole Folks.
Mole folks?
Mole Folks.
I think of Dr. Stone, but I don't know if that's true. I don't
know.
It's a good guess. Mole folks.
Mole Folks.
Something with people in it?
Not the word people, but another word for
Person?
it. Nope.
Nope.
You were closer with people.
I'm getting farther away.
That's okay. We'll
People?
skip.
Okay.
We'll skip and we'll come back.
Okay.
All right. Offensive towards giant.
Attack on Titan.
Very good. Attack on Titan.
That's funny. Okay.
It's a one-word one. Decolorize.
Decolorize?
Mm-hmm. Very big franchise.
Decolorized.
Big anime. One-word anime.
I'm not trying to think of any one-word anime.
I know. I'm like, I can't think of any.
All right.
Skip.
Skip. All right. Lone Fragment.
One Piece.
All right.
Wow.
Very good.
Okay.
The non-One Piece person gets
Non-One
it.
Piece person got it. Gotcha.
Wild. All right. We're not going to make it under 90, but this is fun, so we're going to keep it going. Passing comment.
Passing comment?
Shooting star? I don't know if that's one.
No, not shooting star.
Comet or comment?
Comment. Passing comment.
Comment. Okay. Passing comment. God.
All right, let's move to the next one.
Not doing
Crowd
well.
Maniac.
Crowd Maniac?
Yeah, you're going to be mad if you don't get this one, Phil.
Crowd Maniac? Oh, Mob Psycho.
Mob Psycho.
Oh,
is
okay.
correct.
Yeah.
All right. Archer.
Hunter. Yeah.
There we go. And then Products Bin.
Products Bin? Product Bin.
This one's probably the harder one out of all of them, surprisingly.
Oh. Dang it.
I know, it's like right there. I
Product
can't.
Bin. Product Bin.
Yep, it is a romance anime that people are very fond of.
Oh, Fruit Basket. Is
Yeah,
that it?
There we
That's
go.
it.
Okay,
That's what I was
cool.
trying
There
to
we
think
go.
of. I was like, what?
All right,
Okay.
let's go
Back to the other ones.
Let's go back to the other ones. Or there's one last one I didn't get to. Melancholy Latch. Melancholy Latch.
Melancholy Latch?
Yeah.
Do you
This
even
one
know what
also-
melancholy means?
Yes. This is a very popular sports anime.
Oh, Blue Lock.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
Blue Lock. All right, let's go back to the other ones here. So the two that we skipped over were Mole Folks.
Yeah, that one is
Can we get
crazy.
Can we get a hint?
Yes, some people would say Mole X Folks.
Spy Family?
It is Spy Family, yes.
Oh, like a mole. I was thinking of the animal.
No, me too.
No.
I'm thinking like a mole. That's why I said
Like a
Dr. Stone. I was like, I know there's
people.
stone people. Like,
I know. I almost put Dr. Stone on here. It was a really good guess.
Okay.
Hi.
And then the last
Excellent.
one that we got to get to is Decolorize.
that's
Decolorized. Oh, Bleach.
It is Bleach.
Are you serious?
It is a fun game, and I knew
That's
I
so
knew
funny.
I had to bring it on. I knew
Dude,
I had
I was
to bring
like-
it on.
I was like monochrome. I'm thinking all these all these paint terms, and I'm like, there's no anime like that. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so funny. I'm still
As
stuck on
someone
mole.
as someone
mole
who barely
people.
knows what a synonym was, that was very fun.
That was awesome.
I'm still stuck on mole people.
I know. I'm like, what anime has
was
mole
wild.
people? Why haven't I heard of it before?
Oh man, that was good. Good job, Eric.
That was good. Yeah,
that was
you'd be
solid.
surprised how hard it was to put synonyms to anime. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
You did a good job. So, well, the other game we wanted to play, just to kind of wrap it up, is again something I just stole from TikTok, which is some Would You Rathers. And we tried to find some that were kind of like pop culture related, but I also just found some weird ones. We'll start with some pop culture ones here. Are you guys both familiar with, even if you don't watch Stranger Things, are you familiar with Vecna? Is everybody
Yes.
familiar with who Vecna is?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather fight Vecna from Stranger Things or 500 minions?
Ooh.
I'm gonna say something controversial, maybe.
Uh-oh.
I hate the minions.
Listen,
Wow.
there was a time where we were all about the minions, Eric. And
Okay.
as it went on, we were just like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah, we were pretty big Despicable Me fans, but we'd agree around the time they went for just Minions was around the time
Right.
So
disassociated.
See, not to take away from the game here. I love Despicable Me. The first movie is great. It's
Yeah, the
it's
first
a really
one's great.
fun movie.
Fantastic.
I just the Minions thing, like you guys said, when they started doing it individually, I'm like, this is just really cheap slapstick humor, and they're really pushing it. So I will fight the Minions, is what I'm saying.
See, the thing about the minions is also, but they like very commonly weaponize themselves. Like they seem pretty
Yes.
familiar with firearms. That's a little
They-
concerning.
They do.
Yeah, they
So-
also have they typically have like rocket launchers at will. They're willing to go kamikaze. So yeah, I think I'll take my chances with Vecna.
Yeah, like 4
'Cause,
teenagers beat Vecna. Like
Exactly.
That's
lots
true.
of minions is kind of, it's rough. I don't know. I'd also think seeing them in real life would also be a little terrifying.
Vecna's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
a rip-off Freddy Krueger with
Yeah.
Pennywise tendencies. So that works.
Yeah, that's
There you go.
fair.
I'll go with that.
Let me see if I can find another good pop culture one here before I go into the ones that I really want to do. Let's see. Would you rather, this one's just kind of a fun one. Would you rather go on a trip to Wakanda, obviously from Black Panther, or Pandora from Disney's Avatar?
I think I'll go with Wakanda because I love seeing like new tech stuff and cool stuff like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, my heart says Pandora because that'd be so cool, but my brain's like, you wouldn't last 5 seconds
No,
out
I don't-
there. So
I don't like outside
Wakanda with some
anyway.
air conditioning would be great.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's fair.
They probably have some like technology where the air conditioning follows you around too, so like you're never outside. So yeah, that one was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Okay, more important ones now. This one, would you rather the ability to freeze time for 30 seconds every day, once every day, or rewind time 30 seconds once every day? So fast forward or rewind. One time a day, 30 seconds.
I think rewind would be more more applicable because like you can fast forward through like 30 seconds, but that's like okay, like that's but rewind you can almost remove a mistake or something that you do.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the one.
30 seconds is a lot of time. too.
It is like
Mhm.
especially if you're like you do something and you're like I don't know, you could break a plate and be like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, and then you go back like 30 and then it's like I won't do that again. That's
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a noble answer. But Phil knows I can be socially awkward. So like when I don't want to answer a question or like I get asked about something that I'm not familiar with, I would like to fast forward beyond that conversation. 30 seconds is
You're
plenty
still
of time.
going to be in that conversation in 30 seconds. What are you talking
But
about?
I'll have already said the awkward response
And-
that I'm afraid of saying.
No, because in that 30 seconds, you will have missed vital information that you could just rip off, that you rely on to get through that conversation. So
That's a
they'd be
good
like,
point.
what do you think? And you'd be like, yeah.
Which is what I do now, minus the power. So,
Minus the
okay.
fast forward. So
Okay, yeah, no, I guess rewinding is the obvious answer.
I overthink too, like when something happens and it's just like, man, if I had just made one different decision in that split second of time, it would have totally changed this outcome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the rewind, like you said, Sophie, is definitely the way to go. Let's see here. Would you? Okay, rather it just decided to not load. There we go. Would you rather get a 50% discount on everything you buy or 50% profit from everything you gain?
But gain how? Like
So,
money? Like money? Like
yeah.
like, Okay.
So you'd rather get that discount,
So
but you're still making the same amount of money,
You get
or would you rather
150% of
essentially have more
what
money?
you normally get. Is that right?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Or 50% off.
That's interesting because that also goes into like how much you make and then what's your spending habit with like what, because
Right.
I feel like I don't buy a lot of things, but also I'm gonna go with make 50% more because you can always like climb that, but you can't always predict what things will cost, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you think, Eric?
No, I'm going 50% discount. You can't get me in that next tax bracket. That's not happening. Uncle Sam, I'm taking that 50% discount.
You know what? That's super
Here was
valid.
my thought. Yeah, that's really smart. Here was my thought, because I've always had I've always thought about, we've all done this 3-wish game. Like if you had 3 wishes from a genie, we've all thought about that. And, everyone is like, I wish I had $1 billion or whatever, but like that dries up. So my wish was always, I wish that everything for me was priced as if it were 1935. Like if it were priced as if it were back in the day, not now. So I could buy everything I want, but it would be severely discounted. So I'm going the discount route as well. Eric, I think you're spot on there. I don't need anybody knowing I'm making more money.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. I think I overthought that one because I was like, what changes over time? No, you guys are right.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right, last one here before we wrap up this conversation, and probably the most important question you'll ever be asked. Would you rather get $2 million, but everyone is able to read your mind, or eat a cheeseburger?
How long can they read your mind? Forever?
Forever.
I feel like you'd
$2
go
million
crazy.
$2 million's a lot, though.
It is.
Is it as much as it once was, though? I mean, not I'm saying I wouldn't deny $2 million right now, but like,
Also wouldn't deny a free cheeseburger.
also just a really good cheese, like the best cheeseburger you've ever had. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it an In-N-Out burger or is it an actual hamburger?
No, a good cheeseburger. Let's substitute it for your favorite meal. Okay, let's just whether or not it's not a cheeseburger. So we'll do $2 million. Everyone knows what you're thinking at all times, or just your favorite meal.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have to go with the cheeseburger. I can't sign off on that. I can't do that. I cannot do that. I overthink things, and I always am like, I can't. Like, I would be freaking out all the time.
I think you can speak as a fellow gamer yourself, Sophie, that, sometimes in the group chat, shit gets outlandish, okay? And we can't be thinking, people can't know what the thoughts are in our mind. I just think it's too risky, Eric. I think you got to go with the meal.
I know, but it's tough. I mean, I'm going meal too, but not I'm clawing. I'm clawing at it right now. I want the 2. I want the 2 mil.
Imagine
but
for
I
you
can't.
too. People would know that you have no idea what they're talking about.
Oh yeah, when they ask me, have you seen Game of Thrones? I'm immediately like, no, I haven't, and then I just blatantly lie to their face.
You'd be like, I'm so sick of this stupid question, and they would know immediately that you were lying to them. So,
yeah, no, I'm gonna take the burger. I'm gonna take my favorite meal. I'm gonna take anything else.
Here you go. Well, those are Sophie. You were the inaugural Would You Rather guest here on the Wait For It podcast.
Really?
So thanks for taking the time. I found the cheeseburger one. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna close out with this one. This is the
it's perfect.
This is the best one.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, this was so much fun. Eric, do you have any other questions for our guest before we wrap up tonight?
No, I mean, I guess the biggest thing, Sophie, is just letting our audience know, you gave us some of your time tonight. Where can they follow you on social media? Are there any projects you're working on? We just mentioned Ocala Comic-Con, where many people are going to get to see you at. But if there's anything else you got going on the rest of the year that you want to plug here, this is the perfect time. And all of that will be in the show notes. But if you want to give us a rundown, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So it's pretty easy to find me. All of my socials are at Soupninjaha, usually with an underscore after that. Sometimes it doesn't have it. And then that's on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, mostly on like all socials. And then just a side thing is that I, we mentioned that I do a lot of creative work. I recently started my own company where I take freelance design work, and that goes from anywhere from illustrative to conceptual, artistic design, some graphics, of course, environment and experience design, anything from characters to physical spaces. So I have that going, and I actually am working on something for that, like I mentioned, for my table as well. So if anybody wants to talk about creative stuff or work or for your own characters, experiences, etc., I'd love to talk about it. So I think that's it.
Well, Sophie, thank you so much for joining us here this evening. As Eric mentioned, all those links will be in the show notes of this episode, which is also where you'll find the Linktree link for our podcast. You'll find everything you need there, all the rest of our content, as well as our social media pages. If you missed our announcement last week, Eric and I and the podcast have gone down to one episode a week, and that means we're going to be focusing our time on other platforms as well. So make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok. That is where we will be the most active. You can find those links in the link tree. If you want to support the podcast a little bit more, one of the best ways you can do it, and it's free, is you can head on over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you are listening. Give us a 5-star review. Let us know that we are doing a good job, and it helps drive us up the charts as well. But if you want to support us just a tad bit more, Eric will let you know how to do that.
Yeah, like our patron Briar over on Patreon, you can get access to early exclusive access to this episode and many more. We are also doing things like merch drops. We're also doing many other engaging things on that platform. So please check us out there. If you're able to give the additional support, you can also do that directly through our Buzzsprout website. And if you're not able to do that, like Phil mentioned, likes, comments, shares, engagements, all of that is truly appreciated, never forgotten. With that being said, I'm Mr. Eric Almighty. That is my co-host, Phil the Filipino, and our wonderful guest, Sophie. And for the Wait For It podcast, we release new episodes every Wednesday, plus bonus content on platforms like TikTok. And all you got to do is wait for it.
So, I heard you're looking for a go-to source for entertainment.
Wait for it.
Gaming?
Wait for it.
Anime?
Plus Ultra!
Mr. Eric Almighty and Phil the Filipino? Yeah, they've got you covered. And all you gotta do is wait for it. This is the Wait For It podcast.